Hi dear students, today we are going to discuss about the unit 3 of digital electronics. So what is the name of the unit 3? The synchronous sequential circuits. So the synchronous sequential circuits. So what are the subdivisions? The sequential circuits, the storage elements of latches flip-flops, then analysis of clocked sequential circuits, the state reduction and assignments, then design procedure, then registers and counters, then HDL models of sequential circuits. These are the under the topics of the synchronous sequential circuits, or otherwise under the units of unit 3. Okay. Now the introductions of unit 3. The sequential or a finite state machine FSM. The memory elements are connected to the combinational circuit as a feedback path. What is in the feedback? So any one of the output is connected to the input. That is called as a feedback. So you already studied EC1. So whatever it may be, already you studied yesterday. So whatever it may be the output, that output is connected to the input of the given circuit. So that is called as a feedback path. So now once again, the sequential or otherwise the finite state machine FSM, the memory elements are connected to the combinational circuit as a feedback path. The second point, the information stored the memory elements at any given time define the present state of the sequence circuit. Here, please underline here the information stored in the memory elements at any given time defines the present state of the sequential circuit. The third point, the present state and the external input determine the output and the next state of the sequential circuits. Once again, the present state, so current state, and the external inputs to determine the output, okay? And the next state of the sequential circuits. Then the final point, the memory element used in a sequential circuit is a flip-flop which is capable of storing 1-bit memory information. Okay. Now see the diagram. So now we are going to give it as a input. So C is the output because it's like a combinational circuit, isn't it? So the combinational circuit output is given to the next state of a given diagram. So memory elements. So here we have what is the memory element here used? Because of the flip-flop, So that's why here it is mentioned as memory elements. Then this is the present state to give it as a input. Okay. Now the difference between combinational and sequential logic circuits. What is meant by combinational circuit? What is meant by sequential circuit? It's like a very important differentiation. Okay. Then the first point, output depend only on the present inputs, but the sequential circuit contain the output depends upon both present input as well as the present state. Okay, present input and present state. Now the second point is feedback path is not present because of the whatever it may be the output is not connected to the input. So that is called as the feedback path is not present. Here it is the sequence circuit is only working under the category of feedbacks, isn't it? So the feedback path is present. That means the output is connected to the input. So follow to the input. That is called as a feedback. If you are going to apply feedback in the sense, then only the sequence circuit will give a output. Unless otherwise won't give a outputs. Then the third point, memory elements are not required because of here there is no storage. Then the opposites, the memory elements are required. What are the types of memory elements? Okay, no need to hear. So what type of memory elements here we are going to use? Already I told So the flip-flops. So types of flip-flops in the sense JK, SR, D, T. So whatever it may be the flip-flops, but flip-flops is needed to the sequential circuits for a purpose of storage. Then fourth point, the clock signal is not required. Here the clock signal is required. Then easy to design of combinational circuits. Why? Because there is no feedback path. Then the output is depends upon only from the present state or there is a present input. So memory elements are not required because of there is no storage. So clock signal is also not required. Then only the circuit will be designed easy manner. But here the sequential circuits are difficult to design because of the opposites of combinational circuits. So output depends upon the both present input as well as the present state. Then the feedback path is present. So unless otherwise is not working, then the memory elements are required because of to serve the purpose, then the clock signal is required. Then then only it's like a very difficult to design. So is the very important question, the repeated 2 mark question, the difference between the combination circuit as well as the logic sequential logic circuits. Okay, thank you students.